Thank you. So what did you just witness? You may have had a few thoughts running through your brain like, is she okay? Is she in the wrong place? Is she crazy? Maybe, but in a highly functional and fun sort of way. What you just witnessed is what I have deemed as Wance. It's a combination of dancing while you walk, putting a little extra pep in that step. It's the subtle art of not giving a hoot while also spreading good vibrations. And it really is that simple. You literally just have to dance as you walk. Walk plus dance equals Wance. I've been wancing and spreading it to local communities for over a year now, and I haven't looked back. So I gave you a nice visual of Wance as I found my way onto this very prominent red circle, but there's a lot that you couldn't see that's really at the core of Wance. The cardiovascular effects, or the smiles that emerged in the audience, or the energy that filled the room. But more than anything, it was the release of shame and judgment that I had to experience before coming onto the stage and performing such an act. It's amazing what happens in your life after you're able to eradicate yourself from fear and open yourself up to you. So Wance is nothing new per se. I'm sure most of you have wanced without even realizing it. I, for one, can't help but groove along to my favorite tunes if I hear it pop on, which is exactly how this initiative began. So travel back to 2020. Oh, I know. Many of us do not want to go back there. It was very dark and heavy for a lot of us. But as I reflect on that time, I also see the beauty and potential that can come with those darker phases. As per Wance. So here I was, April 2020, furloughed and sequestered to the home front, adjusting to the far overused phrase, the new normal. And as an extrovert who gets their energy from being around people, that first month was rough. It was rough mentally, physically, emotionally. I saw my screen time skyrocket week over week. My time, energy, lots of fake money was getting invested into jackpot party casino. It wasn't good. It wasn't a good use of time at all. But finally, the Facebook algorithms gave me something productive to do with my time. It was a class for free from Yale University called The Science of Well-Being. I was like, all right, let's do this. So I started hitting the books and stopped hitting the fake slots. My stint as a Yale student, if you will, was quite a catalyst. Okay, so I didn't actually finish the class, but man, did I get a lot from it. It really started changing my previous perceptions on what it meant to obtain happiness and what that really meant. At this point, I was going down a rabbit hole on my quest for true, authentic happiness and the meaning of life. I was reading book after book, doing the homework from class. I joined some really amazing, transformative online communities and met some just incredible people through those means. I was basically information hoarding from absolutely any perspective I could learn from. It finally made a real impact when I put with the information I was hoarding and these self-care tools to practice. And when I stopped absorbing external information, perspectives, and opinions as my own and started creating my own standards. One of the things I started to do more was go into nature more, go into walks, often listening to my favorite music. And previously indicated, can't really help but not want to groove along to my favorite music as I'm going on this walk. So here I was having the time of my life on these nature walks, just grooving along, but I would stop every single time a person would walk by, a car would drive by, or I'd walk by a neighbor's house. It was the day I stopped caring if anybody saw me that I experienced the biggest leap in self-growth. I mean, why stop the joy with me? Imagine spotting someone on the side of the road just grooving along with the utmost enthusiasm and expression. And let me tell you, I'm pretty enthusiastic. Wouldn't that make your day? Yeah, at the very least, make you smile. With the assumption I was getting some smiles out of this, I never stopped dancing on my walks. And I never felt better or more sure about myself in my life. On one of those walks, it really hit me. I just found the most amazing way to consolidate radical self-love and the ability to spread an abundance of joy all into one experience. And it's exercise. What? What kind of impact could that have on a larger scale? From those really exciting thoughts, Wance was born. So by July, August 2020, I really started devoting more of my time to Wance and starting it in a group fashion in local communities. The more I wanced, the more benefits I noticed. So let's start with the internal benefits. I mean, we all know exercise is good for you. I'm no health expert, but I'm pretty sure there's a long list of benefits to exercise, but I won't go through it. I'm not the expert. But I know it's like really, really, really good for you. But it's not necessarily everyone's cup of tea, especially if it's not something you're looking forward to. But Wance, it seriously feels more like you're doing the Cupid shuffle at your favorite cousin's wedding more than it does a full body workout. But it is. You'll end up profusely sweating, well, at least I do, working muscles through your entire body, all while going at your own pace. And it's so fun, and it's so rejuvenating. And what's even cooler than that, it starts to rewire your brain and thoughts on exercise. And then what was even cooler, it started rewiring my thoughts and perceptions on other more mundane, repetitive, boring aspects of life too. I mean, if you can turn a walk into a dance party, you can make anything fun. And I think it's time we learn to have a little fun again. So channel that inner child and make fun a high priority on that list of self-care, because I'd be willing to bet the happiness that most of us are searching for are right in those moments. Another theory I developed on this venture is that if you can Wance on a busy street, you can do anything. I mean it. If you can Wance on a busy street, A+, good for you, because that means you have a much higher propensity to not care what anyone thinks of you. And those thoughts hold us back so much more than we ever realize. So if you find yourself kind of in that cycle of thoughts, being paranoid about other people's thoughts, judgments, or perceptions of you, I have a secret, and you're going to hate it. It's not them, it's you. Those are your thoughts. That's your imagination being negative. It's your brain creating false stories and narratives of situations you have no idea whether or not it's true. And with the small chance that it is true, one, you're probably way overinflating it in your head. Two, who cares? Who cares what people think of you? At the end of the day, big picture, who cares what anyone thinks of you besides yourself? So if you find yourself in those cycle of thoughts, I have some tips. First of all, figure out where it's rooted from, because I promise you it's rooted somewhere. Tend to it, and then cut out the crap because it's only keeping you playing small. Another tip that I have for that is from Wance. I highly encourage you all to get out there and Wance on your own because it's an amazing experience in itself. But I created these group-based events so that people wouldn't have to do it by themselves. So it could be a collective experience. So that those feelings, those fears that naturally arise when you put yourself out there, you don't have to do it alone. It's as much of a social and creative outlet as much as it is a tool for improving your health, self-care, and learning to have fun again. So we know how Wance can impact you as the individual. But do you know what I think is one of the coolest parts about Wance? The potential it has to impact our local communities and future generations. One of the first reasons I started Wance at the time I did as a free and public option was because the world needed it. The world needed lightness, positivity, fun, playfulness, The world was basically begging for someone to start something like this, if you ask me, honestly. So I did. Like I said, I probably got a few smiles out of you as I came out of the stage Wancing. But imagine a group of us. There is power in numbers, my friends. Sure, we get some weird looks on our Wednesday Wances, but more than anything, we make a heck of a lot of people's days. We get people grooving on the street with us, people from across the street, People are honking by as they fist pump past us. It's absolutely incredible to see that visual impact that we're making. But I hope that there's an impact that I don't see too. That those children that I always notice observing these grown humans as they're prancing on the sidewalks, that when they see that, it gives them the courage to always be themselves. That when they see these grown humans prancing away, that they know that there's no reason in the world to have shame for any reason. We can preach these things all day long, but I think what's most important is that we lead by example and create a safe space for the next generation to be themselves. So the invitation to join me in Wance Revolution is out there to all of you here today, as I'd really like some help in making this a thing, because I think it's got a lot of potential. I really do. Right now we're Wancing on Wancing on Wednesdays, because get over the midweek hump, and alliteration makes it a little bit more fun. Makes a good hashtag too. There's anywhere between 5 and 20 of us spreading joy through that town. So that invitation, help me make this a thing, is out there to everyone. But what I'm really here to do is to see how you can integrate those basic elements of Wance into your everyday life. Where can you spread a little bit more light into this world? Where do you let fear or anything outside of yourself pave your own path? Where do you need to let go of fear and let in a little bit more fun? How can you live in each moment and turn each moment into an adventure? How can you turn exercise or anything more mundane into an expression that lights you up? Where do you need to just let go and let Wance?